know what I mean? Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash gooshmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean?
I want to say this about Soulja Boy. Y'all gotta give him a little bit of latitude because he a victim. And his been ran through quite a bit. They was playing tapes, and then the owner of the house pulled out Soulja Boy tapes. That's why he's always able to call other on being a swish. Birds of a feather flock together.
The industry has always thrived on secrets, hidden contracts, quiet payouts, and stories that never see daylight. But when two of hip-hop's most unpredictable voices, Orlando Brown and Jaguar Wright, join forces, the game doesn't just get messy. It gets explosive. Rumors have circled for years about who's really living double lives in the rap world. Fans whisper, bloggers speculate, and insiders drop cryptic hints. But never before has anyone claimed to have recordings, actual tapes, real voices, conversations that could flip entire careers upside down. Orlando Brown, known for his unfiltered, often chaotic interviews, has always had people questioning what's truth and what's trolling. Jaguar Wright, meanwhile, has built a reputation for exposing hidden dirt in the music world backstage deals, shady managers, and artists' darkest secrets. Together, they're a storm that no PR team can contain. According to the whispers, the two claim to be sitting on audio files that prove some of the industry's biggest names, chart toppers, award winners, even self-proclaimed street kings, are hiding relationships, encounters, and alliances that the public was never meant to hear about. And they're not just hinting anymore. They're threatening to release it all. But here's the real kicker. Is this about truth or about power? Are Orlando and Jaguar really holding the receipts, or is this just another game of smoke and mirrors in an industry built on illusion? Either way, the rap world is about to feel tremors like never before. The air in the hip-hop world has always been thick with speculation. But lately, it feels almost electric, like thunder rolling before the lightning strike. Fans are used to rumors, gossip blogs, and the occasional diss track that pulls the curtain back on someone's personal life. But what Orlando Brown and Jaguar Wright are stirring up is no regular storm. This isn't just he said, she said. This is supposed evidence. Recordings, voices that can't be denied once the play button is pressed. Orlando Brown has always been unpredictable. One moment, he's cracking jokes and going viral for outrageous claims. The next, he's dropping stories that sound so wild you'd swear they were made up until you realize they connect to whispers the industry has tried to bury for years. His interviews are like fireworks, messy, loud, and impossible to ignore. But when you peel back the chaos, every so often you find sparks of truth that make even his harshest critics lean in. Jaguar Wright, on the other hand, doesn't deal in comedy or chaos. Her reputation is built on boldness and fearlessness. She's made a career out of telling the stories no one else would dare repeat. From exposing how women are treated in the industry, to calling out household names for what happens when the cameras stop rolling, she's earned both enemies and respect. To some, she's a hero, a whistleblower, speaking for those who can't. To others, sees a problem, a threat, who talks too much. So when these two voices collide, the result isn't just noise. It's a shockwave. And according to their claims, that shockwave is aimed straight at the foundation of hip-hop. The whispers began during an Instagram live session, where Orlando, in his usual unfiltered style, dropped the bomb. Y'all don't even know half the stuff I got on these dudes. They all frontin' for the cameras, but behind the scenes, different story. I got the tapes, whole conversations, and y'all gonna hear it. At first, fans didn't know whether to laugh or gasp. Was this another one of Orlando's viral rants? The kind that spawns memes but gets dismissed within a week? Or was he actually telling the truth this time? That's when Jaguar Wright jumped into the conversation, confirming that she too had files. She claimed she's been sitting on receipts for years, collecting testimony, keeping track of the lies sold to the public while living a very different reality behind closed doors. And here's the twist. Neither of them sounded like they were bluffing. Orlando leaned into the camera, eyes wild but focused, and said, "They better pray I don't press play." Jaguar followed with her signature bluntness. "I've been trying to warn y'all. You thought I was just talking, but now the world about to find out what I already know. They think their secrets are safe. Not anymore." The internet went into overdrive. Within hours, blogs were dissecting every word. Twitter was flooded with speculation, and fans were arguing in comment sections. Who are they talking about? Which rappers could be on those recordings? Names were thrown around recklessly: megastars, Grammy winners, even legends who've been in the game for decades. No one was safe from the speculation. And that's the beauty and danger of this storm. Even without releasing a single tape, Orlando and Jaguar had already shifted the conversation. They planted just enough seeds for fans to fill in the blanks. And suddenly, every artist's past interview, lyric, or a suspicious absence from the public eye became evidence. But this isn't just about gossip. This is about power. If the recordings exist, they hold the potential to reshape reputations overnight. Careers built on carefully crafted images could collapse. Rivalries could ignite. Long-standing alliances could crumble. Because in an industry where authenticity is everything, being caught hiding your truth, especially something as sensitive as your personal identity, can be a career-ending scandal. The question is, do Orlando Brown and Jaguar Wright really have what they claim? Or are they manipulating the culture, dangling the idea of receipts to gain attention and leverage? One thing is certain: hip-hop is listening. Every fan, every label executive, every rapper with a skeleton in the closet, they're all waiting, watching, and praying their name isn't the one about to be dragged into the light. For now, Orlando and Jaguar are playing chess, moving pieces across the board, hinting at names without fully revealing them. But the suspense is building and the industry is on edge. Because if the tapes are real, they won't just shake the culture. They'll expose it. And this is only the beginning. The storm hit harder than anyone expected. Within days of Orlando Brown and Jaguar Wright's bombshell statements, the hip-hop world was in chaos. Blogs couldn't post fast enough, fans couldn't argue fast enough, and rappers themselves couldn't stay quiet. What began as whispers suddenly felt like an earthquake, shaking the very foundations of an industry built on image, bravado, and secrecy. Orlando, true to his unpredictable style, doubled down almost immediately. On Instagram Live, he leaned back in a chair, smirking, his phone buzzing every second with notifications. He didn't release the recordings, but he didn't need to. Just a few cryptic lines were enough to send shockwaves. "Y'all know who y'all are. Stop blowing up my phone. Stop sending your people to scare me. If you so real, if you so untouchable, why are you worried about what I got?" The comments exploded. Some fans begged him to name names, others demanded he stay safe, and plenty accused him of chasing clout. But Orlando's cool confidence suggested something deeper. He wasn't bluffing. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright was on her own crusade. Appearing on multiple podcasts, she painted a picture of an industry that has long used secrecy as a weapon. She didn't just confirm Orlando's claims, she contextualized them. People think this is new. It's not. These recordings, this culture of hiding, it's been going on for decades. You'd be surprised how many careers were protected, how many people stayed silent just to keep the money flowing. Her words stung because they rang true. Hip-hop history is full of open secrets, stories fans whispered about but never had proof of. And now, the promise of proof was dangling in front of everyone's faces. What made things even messier were the rappers' reactions. Suddenly, social media timelines were flooded with cryptic posts. A well-known rapper tweeted, "Y'all love lies until the truth hurts. Watch who you believe." Another posted a picture with the caption, "You can't cancel what you can't control." Even Drake, usually above the gossip mill, liked and unliked a post referencing the Orlando Jaguar saga, which only fueled speculation further. Every lyric, every caption, every interview was dissected. Was that bar in the freestyle a subliminal at Orlando? Was that IG story a response to Jaguar? The paranoia was so thick, it was practically a character in the drama. And then came the biggest twist. And then came the biggest twist. Orlando dropped a snippet. Not the full tape, not a clean-cut recording, but just a few seconds of muffled audio during one of his live streams. It was barely audible, distorted, and quickly cut off. But the internet swore they recognized the voice. Twitter exploded. That's definitely redacted rapper's name. I know that voice. Bro, playing with fire. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. He is about to get himself blacklisted for real. The snippet was enough to push the story from rumor into near confirmation territory. And the industry noticed. Within 24 hours, Orlando went live again, this time angrier. I told y'all, don't play with me. Don't act like I'm crazy. Y'all better stop sending lawyers my way, because if I gotta go down, I'm taking everybody with me. It wasn't just idle talk anymore. It was a threat to burn the entire house down. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright sharpened her message. She spoke about her own alleged recordings, hinting that she'd been saving them for years as protection against the very system trying to silence her. See, they think they can bully people into silence. But you can't silence me. I got too much to lose, and I'm not afraid. What Orlando is doing, that's brave. But he's not alone. We all got files. We all got proof. And once it's out there, there's no turning back. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was a full-blown standoff. Rappers panicked behind the scenes, bloggers fought for exclusives, and fans were glued to their screens like it was a Netflix series dropping. Episodes in real time. And while the internet feasted on the drama, industry insiders whispered about the bigger picture. If these recordings really surfaced, careers could be over. Endorsements would vanish overnight. Legacy artists could see decades of work overshadowed by scandal. Entire labels could be dragged into lawsuits. The fear was palpable. One insider claimed record execs were already scrambling, trying to get ahead of the story, preparing crisis PR strategies in case names started leaking. But here's the wildest part through all the chaos. Orlando and Jaguar weren't backing down. In fact, they were leaning in. Orlando teased another live, promising he'd press play if pushed any further. Jaguar claimed she was working on a documentary that would expose not just individuals, but the entire system that allowed these secrets to fester. Fans, meanwhile, were split. Some begged them not to release the tapes, arguing that personal lives shouldn't matter as long as the music is good. Others demanded receipts, hungry for the exposure, the drama, the downfall of their so-called idols. And then there were those caught in the middle, terrified that their favorite rapper's entire image could come crashing down by now. It wasn't just about Orlando Brown or Jaguar, right? This had become a cultural moment to reckoning, a potential turning point where hip-hop could be forced to confront its own shadows. And as the tension built, one chilling question hovered over everything. What happens if they actually release the recordings? The internet has seen scandals before. Rappers exposed for cheating, fights caught on camera, diss tracks tearing reputations apart. But what Orlando Brown and Jaguar Wright threatened to unleash was different. This wasn't just gossip, it was dynamite. And everyone knew the fuse was burning. The tension hit a fever pitch when Orlando hinted he'd play a full recording during a late-night live stream. Tens of thousands tuned in, waiting, holding their breath. Fans spammed the comments. Do I tea? Drop the tape. He capping, ain't no way he got proof. For 20 agonizing minutes, Orlando toyed with the crowd, rambling about loyalty, fake friendships, and how rappers were living double lives. Then he leaned forward, looked dead into the camera, and whispered, "Y'all want the truth? They can't stop it forever." He pressed play. The audio was short, 30 seconds, maybe less. Muffled voices, laughter, background music. But then a clear phrase cut through. A voice fans swore belonged to a chart-topping rapper. It wasn't explicit, but it was enough. The chat exploded like fireworks. Clips hit Twitter within seconds. TikTok was flooded with voice comparison videos. And hashtags naming the alleged rapper trended worldwide. That 30-second clip was all it took to turn whispers into hysteria. The industry scrambled. Lawyers sent cease and desist letters. Influential bloggers received anonymous DMs warning them to stop feeding the fire. One podcast host even claimed their upcoming episode with Jaguar Wright mysteriously got pulled after outside pressure. But the fire couldn't be contained. Fans dissected every lyric, every interview, every past rumor. Suddenly, old songs were re-examined for hidden meanings. Subtle gestures and music videos were treated like confessions. The internet became a detective agency with no rules and no limits. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright doubled down, appearing in yet another interview. You see what happens when the truth even peeks out. That's fear you're seeing. Fear from people who built entire careers on lies. And it ain't just about sexuality, it's about manipulation. It's about power. It's about the games they play behind the curtain while y'all worship the stage. Her words reframed the conversation. This wasn't just about outing rappers. This was about exposing the machinery of control, the way labels, executives, and gatekeepers held power over artists by burying or weaponizing secrets. And then came the fallout. One rapper abruptly canceled his tour. Citing mental health reasons, fans speculated it was connected to the rumors. Another suddenly deleted all his tweets, sparking conspiracy theories that he was scrubbing evidence. A third lashed out during a live performance, ranting about fake friends running their mouths before storming. Offstage, it was chaos both online and offline, but behind the spectacle, a darker undercurrent ran. Orlando claimed he'd been followed, that strange cars were parked near his house at night. Jaguar said she'd received threats, warning her to stop before things went too far. Their stories painted a picture of an industry fighting back, not just with PR statements, but with intimidation. And here's where the drama hit its scariest point. Orlando revealed he had multiple tapes, not just one. He teased names, megastars, legends, even executives, suggesting the rot went deeper than anyone imagined. Y'all think I'm crazy? Nah, I'm careful. I got backups. I got people holding copies. If something happens to me, y'all still gonna hear it all? That statement turned the situation from gossip into a full-blown thriller. Fans were no longer just entertained, they were worried. Could this go beyond rap beef and enter dangerous territory? At the same time, Jaguar stoked the flames with promises of her documentary project. She said it would include testimonies, paperwork, and yes recordings. The promise of a full expose kept the internet hooked, waiting for the next leak. By now, one thing was undeniable. Whether Orlando and Jaguar were telling the whole truth or exaggerating for effect, the impact was real. The industry was rattled. The fans were divided. And reputations that once seemed bulletproof were suddenly fragile. The cultural conversation shifted. People asked hard questions. Do we have the right to know the private lives of public figures? What happens when secrets are used as weapons? Is hip-hop finally ready to face its hidden truths? Or will it bury them again? And through it all, Orlando and Jaguar stood at the center, unlikely whistleblowers holding the keys to chaos. The final question hung heavy over everything. Will they release the full recordings, or are they bluffing until someone silences them? Because if those tapes ever see daylight, hip-hop won't just be shaken. It'll be transformed forever. It'll be transformed forever.